Hello, this is Michael Owens with Here Come the Irish, and you're watching the Two Irish Brothers Show. Go Irish.
Going deep for Smith. Irv Smith. What a run by Smith. Look at that. Touchdown. Oh, my.
How's it going, everyone? I'm Sean Moriarty.
I'm Irish Benjamin. Also, Benjamin Walters. Welcome into the Two Irish Brothers.
Now, how about this? This is what we think of you guys as video content makers here on YouTube. We're giving you two videos on one day.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about. There was a lot to talk about yesterday with Notre Dame, and a lot to talk about with the Battlehawks of the UFL. But at the same time, it's also nice to get back to talking some Notre Dame content because, hey, overall, this is a Notre Dame show.
Yes.
But we're not. We've made it very clear we're not opposed to talking about other things as well. So,
yeah.
But before we go any further, as we said in the other video, or as we're going to say in the other video, haven't decided what order we're going to do today. You guys know the drill. Hit that subscribe tab in the bottom right-hand corner, like or dislike the video, and hit that notification bell so you always know when we upload new content. And we are like 13 or 14 subscribers away from 1,000 subscribers, people. So keep hitting that subscribe tab. We're almost there. I can taste it.
Yep. It's been a long time coming. We're so close. But you know who else was so close? Gold team was so close. So close to that victory. So close. And blue came out just a smidge ahead. Just a smidge.
Oh yeah, it was a good game. And before we go any further, I should say something, Ben, that I need to say that I think is important, because I've seen this a little bit across social media. People acting all worried, saying things like, "Oh, none of them looked really good yesterday. This and that. I'm scared." Listen, people, and most of you know this, so don't take offense if you do know this. This doesn't apply to you. Yesterday was a scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
So many things to factor in here. One,
limited playbook.
Limited playbook. I was going to say that. Two, yes. A lot of key guys weren't playing yesterday. Not that it really matters. But this whole game is meant upon not winning and losing, but seeing how all your guys are developing, how they're progressing. Are they getting the fundamentals down? Are they limiting the mistakes? It's all about shaking out the dust and getting your players ready. So those of you who are panicking, not saying everybody is, stop. It's a glorified scrimmage. And even Marcus Freeman said this himself. It's just a practice. It's an important practice, but just a practice.
Yep. So
slow down. It's only the spring game. We're not to College Station yet, so relax.
Yeah.
But go ahead, man. I just wanted to get that out there. Yeah,
I mean, overall, there were some really cool things happening in this game. Overall, this is our first glimpse of what Notre Dame could be. And there are a lot of factors that go into the game, and then there are a lot of factors that went into yesterday's game. The biggest two, like you hit, were the fact that there were a bunch of guys that were not playing in this game. And then also, new offensive coordinator. Third year in a row, have a new offensive coordinator. And, we have a pretty new, if you will, wide receiver core here at Notre Dame. Quite a few receivers transferred out of the program. So keep that in mind. But overall, I felt like this game had a little bit different of an atmosphere than last year. And what I mean by that is last year it was really defense. It was the sole focus, yet last year was the defense stepped up and really flexed its muscle. This year, I felt like the offense was more on it. And the defenses struggled, if you will, at times. And as a Notre Dame fan who's going into, I don't even know what season this is for me, but a long while, it was nice to see the offense actually, for the most part, clicking and not just the defense being absolute dominant.
Mhm.
I don't know
Yeah,
how
it was-
you feel, but that's how I feel.
It was definitely, at the very least, it was more balanced out this year. But I think when you see that, it shows the kind of talent that you have on this team. It shows the recruiting job that Marcus Freeman has done in his soon to be 3 years here at Notre Dame. I mean, he's bringing in guys who can play.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they're young too. I mean, I wouldn't say raw, but I guess as far as the college ranks, yeah, they're raw, but they're getting things. They're figuring things out a lot more quicker than we thought they were with
Yes.
a lot of these players. I mean, I don't want to jump into stats just right away, but the one that stands out to me is people are going to think I'm like, Sean, why are you passing over the quarterbacks? But look at the receivers. I mean, we talked about what all we lost in the receiving game. I mean, and we lost some big ones.
Yeah.
Chris Tyree, Rico Flores, Tobias Merriweather, which that one I felt hurt because there was a lot of potential for him to really grow. But look at what these guys did in the receiving game. Micah Gilbert, 5 catches, 79 yards, 2 touchdowns. KK Smith, 3 catches, 54 yards. Where's the
Deion Colsey, 4 catches.
Yeah,
58
I
yards.
had to scroll down to the blue.
You know, I mean, Great House had 3 catches. Chris Mitchell had 2 catches for 69 yards, 2 targets, 2 catches, so he took full advantage. Yeah, I mean, and like you said, you skipped over the quarterbacks, but we know what we have in the quarterbacks for the most part. I mean, we know, this is what you're getting with Leonard, this is what you're getting with Angeli, this is what you're. But when it comes to the receiving core, we don't quite know. It is the biggest question mark, if you will, on this Notre Dame team is the receiving core. We know what we have in Mitchell Evans. We know what we have in that tight end room. But the receiver core, who's going to step up? Who's going to be the number one dominant guy? Who's going to be the man? So it was interesting seeing these guys go at it and take advantage of their situation. And speaking of taking advantage of a situation, Jeremiah Love took full advantage of his situation yesterday. I mean, he was a dual back big time. 5 targets, 5 catches, 41 yards, a long of 32 in the receiving side of things. He had 7 carries for 36 yards, which, but he had 1 touchdown on that. So, I mean, you talk about being a little bit of a workhorse. That was good to see. I like seeing that. Really like seeing that.
Of course, in the running game, we didn't see 2 other key guys like
Aeneas
Jadarian
Williams
Price.
was a big one, and
Jadarian Price.
Payne.
No, Jabron Payne was playing.
Jabron Payne was playing.
Yeah, Jadarian Price.
And then Jadarian Price. Where I don't see his numbers. Why am I not seeing his numbers?
No, I'm saying Jadarian Price didn't play.
Didn't play. That's right. I get him and Payne mixed up. I don't know why I do, but I sure do. But yeah, so I mean, like we know what we have with the running backs. We're pretty solid, if you will, in that aspect. And the quarterback room was very interesting. The quarterback room was very, very interesting.
Well, real quick before you go there, in the receiving game, did you mention Chris Mitchell?
No, I did not.
Because he had a real nice game.
I did because he had 2 targets, 2 catches for 69 yards. Yeah, I mentioned him.
Okay, you did. I just want to make sure because you want a guy who can step up and be that leader. I think that could be Mitchell. I think that could be him. Anyway, go with the quarterbacks.
But yeah, the quarterback room was very, very interesting. Obviously, Leonard didn't play yesterday. He's injured. So the eyes were on the other 3, which was Minchie, Angeli, and Carr. And it was very interesting seeing these guys go at it, if you will. I don't know how you felt about stuff, but man, oh man, Carr looks like the real deal.
Yes.
I don't know how you feel, but I feel like
I think exactly that.
He shined. So, yeah.
Well, the only thing that sucks here is they have They have his stats breaking down between both the blue and gold team. But I knew that CJ Carr, he had like over 150 yards and one touchdown or two.
He had one touchdown.
Okay, only one? All right. Yep, here it is. But I think going across the board, and Jelly, he was like 17 to 25, 228 yards. I think he's played strictly for the blue team.
Yeah,
because he, I know Carr was playing for both teams. I think it was Minchie that was just playing for the gold, and then and Jelly for the blue.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sorry, these guys were all over the place.
Yeah.
But across the board, all their numbers look very similar, and it's like,
yeah, I feel like. Well, okay, give me your ranking. Like, if you had to go, okay, here's the depth chart. Obviously, Leonard's number one. Like, we know that he's going to be the guy. Like, Freeman's made it very apparent that Leonard's QB1. But if you had to say QB2, 3, and 4, how do you do it?
Pressure's on. You're really putting the pressure on me here, Ben. Man. Okay, you have to put Angeli behind Riley just because of the fact that he has the most experience, and he's had the performance to back it up. But it's those 3 and 4 spots where this gets really tricky, because Kenny Minchie, he hasn't seen a lot of game action. But here's the thing, you can't read too much into the spring game, like I already said. But there's got to come a point where you have to look for who makes the less mistakes. So I would have to put CJ Carr in that 3 hole and Kenny at 4.
Mm-hmm.
But it could easily be the other way around, because even though it hasn't been much, Kenny still does have more experience than Carr does. Obviously, Carr is the incoming freshman, hasn't seen a lick of game action at the collegiate level. So, but I think, as I've said before, I think they're setting this up to be CJ's team. So I could easily see them putting CJ in that 3 hole.
Yeah.
So that's just how I see it right now. Obviously, things can change.
Yeah. I think Angeli's number 2, but okay. I think Carr is literally on Angeli's heels. And the way I look at it is, I think Angeli's at his ceiling. Okay. Angeli's about as high as he's going to go and as high as he's going to get with his ceiling. I feel like Carr is literally right behind him, and I feel like Carr has not anywhere near his ceiling. And then Minchie's in the 4th spot. But I feel like if Carr can mature very quickly, I think Carr overtakes Angeli. Just by what, and this is just an eye test. This is just what I saw yesterday in the spring game. What I saw in the spring game. This is not practice. This is not real game action. None of that. That's what I saw yesterday. But, Angeli obviously has the playbook, the knowledge, the chemistry with most of these guys. Not all, because, like the other quarterbacks in this room, this wide receiver room is new for the most part. These guys, a lot of these guys are new. So the chemistry is not quite there as it is in other programs. But I do feel like that's how the QB room stacks out. It is Angeli number 2, Carr 3, and Minchie 4.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much on the same page here. I guess my thing is, even though I think it's going to be CJ's team, I don't want to look too far into the future. I don't want to look past.
No,
the focus is strictly on
because anything can happen. Anything can happen. You can't look that far into the future. No, you cannot.
Because our focus from this point on should strictly be College Station come September.
Oh yeah,
or late August, whatever it starts.
Yes. Oh yes. Yep. No, I agree. I totally agree. But let's switch gears back to the blue and gold game. A couple guys that I liked seeing some stuff happen with were 2 of our newcomers, one of which is coming from legitimate football royalty, and the other one comes from football royalty at the high school level, and that is Kennedy Urlacher. Didn't have too bad of a game yesterday, and a nice little debut, if you will, in the Notre Dame jersey. And then Kingston had a nice little debut with the Fighting Irish. I felt like
we're going to see him on the field.
He was the bright spot when it comes to young dudes with this defense. I really like seeing him flying around the field yesterday.
Well, you want to talk about NFL and Notre Dame royalty? How about Bryant Young's son? He had 1 sack.
Yep.
And
yeah, it's incredible and it's awesome. It's a good problem to have, if you will. It's a good problem to see these guys that are youngsters being that good right off the bat.
Well, going back to Kingston real quick, I truly believe we're going to see him get some significant playing time his freshman year. I really do, because I saw what you did. He was all over the place making plays and just doing his best to get in there.
Yeah, he was disrupting stuff. He wasn't always making the tackle, but he was there in guys' faces, making them cut away, making them, go into another guy's arms, that kind of stuff. And that's what you love to see, because football's a team sport, man. I know you're not always going to make the sack. You're not always going to make that tackle. I get that. But what you need to be able to do is you need to be able to disrupt stuff. And that's what Kingston was doing yesterday. And I love seeing that. Kennedy Urlacher did the same, from time to time. But I felt like Kingston was just a step above for newcomers. There were a lot of other guys that were way more dominant, on that defensive side of the ball. But as newcomers, I felt like Kingston was the star.
Oh, yeah. Well, absolutely. And what's really going to be key overall for as far as the defensive side of things is that front seven this upcoming season, because it is quite the mixture of veterans and, as we already said, a lot of newcomers on the defensive line, linebackers, which both defensive lines, I thought they played very well too yesterday, showing what they can do.
Yeah, except for one thing. There was one thing that I did not like.
I know what you're going to say. I bet I know what it is.
Go for it. Say what I'm going to say.
Too many offsides penalties.
Yes. Come on, man. At least get it out of your system now. Get it out of your system now in the spring game, because it don't matter. This game doesn't count for jack squat. But, dude, you move when the offensive lineman moves. There is no reason for you to be offsides or in the neutral zone. Good grief, that drives me absolutely up a wall.
Here's what happens.
For the love of God, stop jumping offsides. My God, stop.
Here's what happens when you make a crucial mistake in a game. You look like this.
Hey, now.
Oh wait, that's never mind. That's supposed to be an overlay. For those of you that didn't see that picture, it was Ben dressed as a hot dog.
Yeah. You're not hot dogging all over the field. That's exactly right. Well, actually, hot dog is more showing off, I guess, is the right term, but whatever. Yeah, and that was the one thing with defense that drove me a little wild and nuts, and not in a good way. But it's spring. It's spring practice. This is a glorified practice, if you will. So I'm not super. We're going down in flames and all that. We've got to get that cleaned up for College Station, man. That place is going to be freaking loud. That place is going to be rocking.
Oh yeah.
So, got to get that cleaned up. But yeah, overall though, I liked what I saw on the field. This is just a glorified practice, so you can't put a ton of stock into it. But what you can put into it is a little bit of hope and feel goodness. And I think the offenses are trending in the right direction. And that's good to see. And I saw a lot of posts from tons of people across social media when it comes to bloggers and all that, saying this is arguably the best quarterback room, the best offense, the best, you name it, on that side of the ball in a decade and a half or whatever. So that's awesome. And that was what I wanted to see yesterday more than anything, because we knew what we had in the defense. We know who's coming back. We know who the stars are. We know all that. The offense, on the other hand, is kind of an anomaly. So I like seeing all that. I truly did.
Well, there's just going to be a lot of battles going forward. And I mean, of course, I thought they overall did a good job, but all of our offensive linemen, they played really well. But we're going to have some battles going into the fall.
Oh yeah, I mean the quarterback room is not set. It is not set, and that'll be a big battle. And the wide receiver room isn't set either, and that's going to be a huge battle. Absolutely,
but the bottom line is every position is loaded with talent.
Yes, and that's what you love to see. It's a great problem to have when it's like, okay, who are we starting this week? Who should we put in that number one spot for the wide receiver core? Who should I make the number one run? That is a great problem to have.
Oh, absolutely. And keep in mind too, another thing that I forgot to mention. This is only 15 practices in the spring.
Yeah.
So the amount of time for guys needing to gel with one another, that's not the case here. They haven't completely gelled.
Yeah.
I mean, you can spend all that time in the film room and practicing together and whatnot, but you got to have more time than that to be able to gel and make it perfect. But I think, but overall, I think yesterday was a great. I don't know what would you say? Like, yesterday was a good crystal ball situation.
Yeah,
to
a
see
great
exactly
little start to the beginning of the 2024 Notre Dame football season.
Yeah, that works too. But all I know is these guys didn't disappoint. Despite the mistakes, because there's time to clean that stuff up. I really liked what I saw yesterday and the potential of all these guys, and in particular the new guys that stepped up.
Yes,
which just shows, okay, yeah, we're new, we're raw at the college level, but damn it, we came here to play.
Yep.
So I couldn't be any more happy with what I saw yesterday.
Same here.
Because so many people forget that, like I said at the start of the video, this is not an actual game. It's a glorified scrimmage, limited playbook. Some key guys were not playing yesterday, and I can't believe I forgot this, but Mitchell Evans wasn't playing yesterday, which I forgot to mention. But you had guys like him, Riley Leonard, Jadarian Price, Benjamin Morrison wasn't playing either.
Yeah.
So I mean, those are four key
very big guys for our team as a whole. Yes.
So I guess I can't say this enough, people. Don't read that much into it.
Yeah.
It's, if anything, I think it's good that some of the more veteran guys didn't play, because it gives more of the younger guys a chance to show what they can do. Because the key guys that weren't playing, we know what they can do.
Right.
Would it have been nice to see them in there yesterday? Of course it would. Of course, I wish I could have seen Ben Morrison in there making some plays and whatnot, but he's already been through 2 spring games. We know what he can do already. So now let's just focus on getting him ready over the summer, and all these guys over the summer, Riley and Price and so on. Let's just focus on getting them healthy and getting them ready to go.
Yep, I agree.
But no, overall, I'm happy with what I saw yesterday. As we've said already, the quarterback room is going to get interesting. The receiving room is going to get interesting. And also, like I said already, that offensive line room is going to get interesting, because who's going to be playing at what spot there? I mean, obviously, Blake Fisher and Joe Alt. Joe Alt, who's likely going to be a top 10 pick next week.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how can you replace something like that? I mean, it's no easy task.
No, it is not. Not one bit.
So, but I don't know what more I could say, Ben. I just thought it was really great seeing the team starting to click yesterday and play together for the first time. And all I can say is I can't be more excited about the 2024 season when it gets here.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I'm chomping at the bit to get to it, man.
And real quick, I don't know if you saw the halftime interview, but what's your impression of Pete Bavacqua when they were interviewing him?
I like him. I really do.
Yeah, he seems to really have both the athletic let me say this. He seems to have both the student athlete side of things and the business side of things. Down to a T. Not saying that Swarbrick didn't, but as far as like the new generation coming in.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I agree.
So had to throw that in there.
Yep.
So, well, anyway, with that said, again, another great blue and gold game. Now we just wait for the season. That's all there is to it. So, Ben, anything else you'd like to add?
I got nothing.
All right. Well, with that said, everyone, I am Sean Moriarty.
I'm Benjamin Walters.
And on that note, as we always say, good night, God bless, and go Irish.
Go Irish.